You're going to think, how do fruit trees equate to Rabbi David standing in a Messianic synagogue? Let me explain. I've been walking with the Lord for 20 years this year, okay? I grew up in the church and things, but it was 20 years ago that I really bent my knee, and I have followed him ever since. I've never backslidden. Sometimes I've crawled, and you have your ups and downs, but I've been following him for 20 years. But it wasn't until the beginning of 2015 that I devoted myself to read and study the Tanakh, okay? For myself, starting in Genesis 1:1, and just reading. I read for a while. It was over the course of a few months. But during this time, I got to tell you this. I knew I was of Jewish descent. I've always known that. But to be honest with you, it had no real meaning or value to me. People would talk to me about it. I'm just like, what's the big deal? I don't get it. I don't get what the big deal is. I mean, to look back, it's kind of weird to think about, but even that soon ago, only 7-ish, 8 years ago, that's where I was in my journey. It had no real meaning to me. I was indifferent about the land of Israel. I would say that the land of Israel was not even on my top 10 list to visit, all right? It just wasn't that I hated it. I was just indifferent to it. There was other places I wanted to go and visit and see and do things like that, okay? So that's where I was at. But as I'm reading the Tanakh, over the course of weeks and months, just at night, in the morning, sometimes big chunks at a time, sometimes a little bit just in the morning, you know how life goes. But I got to the prophet Ezekiel, and I remember at some point while reading the prophet Ezekiel, and it was building through Isaiah and Jeremiah for sure, but as I got to Ezekiel, it was like a light bulb turned on. And it was only by the Spirit of God. There was not an intellectually I understood, but it was like things that I had never cared about all of a sudden were the most important things to me. My Jewish descendancy was very important to me. But what happened that I really did not understand was that I had this love for the land that I just didn't understand it. I would look at pictures and just start crying about Israel. I just start crying about Jerusalem. I just start crying. And listen, I've still never been there, but I love it. And I will go there one day, okay? But I love it because it's mine.